Okay, so we've got our score system in place. Now we want to do something with that score when we end the level. And what we're going to do is have the typical kind of 1-star, 2-star, 3-star system for when you finish the level. So what we're going to do first is set up some stars to display in our game. And we're also going to make it so that we can see the final score that our player got at the end of level 2. So I'm going to start off by adding a UI Text Mesh Pro element here. And we're going to call final score label, which I don't know why I made it a child of the round over one, but that's okay. Final score label, and we're going to make it dark. Actually, we'll probably do a different bit of color with it. For the moment, we'll just leave it as it is. We'll say final score, like so. I'm going to make this auto size, so up to 150. And then I'm going to drag this out a bit bigger, put it roughly here. I'll make it bold as well. And what else am I doing? I'm going to center it in both directions. There we go. So we've got our final score label. We're going to duplicate that and say that this is the final score value. Drag this down to here, and we're going to put this 00000 whatever. And I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to make them really wide, so that we can potentially fill them in. And then I'm going to get a UI panel element, a UI image element. We're going to make this be the block we've used before as well. And I'm going to change the color to be kind of a bluer color, like so. Let's say about this kind of color. I'm going to put this behind the text and then drag it like so. Drag it in so it locks in the middle, and then make it a bit bigger. And then we're going to take the text and then make it actually white so that we can see it a bit nicer on there. So there we go. We've got our final score and it's displaying there. Then we want to lay out some stars that we're going to use. So I'm going to right click on our round over panel and create an empty object first of all that we're going to call stars -tree, because we're going to start off with our 3 stars and we'll work from there. And let's move this. Oops. Move this down a little bit to be, I don't know, roughly there. Then we're going to right click, create a UI image of a star, and then I'm going to drag the star image that I have in the assets here. So I'm going to pop that in there. Then I'm going to adjust the size of this. So I'm going to make this be 150 by 150, I think. Yeah, I think that'll work out okay. I want to make this star stand out a little bit more as well, so I'm going to add an outline to it. So let's say outline to this. We'll make it a, I don't know, 3 by 3 outline. We won't go black with it. We'll go a kind of darker orange color, like so. So it looks a bit nicer. Okay, that star will do. So that one is going to be right in the middle. Then I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to move this over to the side. So let's say the position of this, say, no, that's not quite that. Let's say 200 that way. No, I think 200 isn't quite far enough. Let's say 300 that way for a star, and we'll duplicate it and we'll put this one at -300. Okay, so that's perfect. That's our 3 star. I'm going to duplicate this, move it up a bit, and this one is going to be for stars 2. So I'm going to remove one of them. I'm going to set this first one to be 150 and the second one to be -150. And then finally I'm going to duplicate stars 3 again, move it up. This is going to be stars 1 now, and we're going to remove the second and third ones, and we're left with just 1 star left in the middle. Okay, so there's our stars all set up and our final score set up. So we need to create references to these then in our UI manager. So let's go to our UI manager script over here, and we're going to create first of all references to the score. So public TMP underscore, try this again, TMP underscore text. There we go. That's going to be the win score. I'm also going to create a reference to that bit of text that says the round over message, because we're going to make that change. If you don't get any stars, we're going to say, oh no, you didn't get any stars, or something like that. So we're going to make this be the win text, and then we're going to have public game object for the win stars 1, and then we want to have one for the 2 and 3 as well. And rather than creating these as 3 separate lines here, a little shortcut you can use to create variables of the same type. So we want to create 3 game objects here. So we can say we're going to have a win stars 1, and we can just say comma. We'll create another one called win stars 2, and another one called win stars 3. And just save this. Let's go back then, and we'll just hook these up so that they're all set up correctly. Once that compiles, there we go, it took a little bit. Then go to our canvas and we'll slot these into the correct places. So our round over will be our win text now. Our final score value goes in there, and then stars 1, stars 2, and stars 3. Okay, perfect. That's those all set up nicely. So let's hide our round over panel because we don't need to see that anymore unless our game is playing. I'm also going to just set my round manager round time to be 5 for now, just so we'll be able to end this pretty quickly when we get going. Then over in our round manager script, when we end the level, we need to know which values we want our player to get towards. So let's go up to the top here. We're going to have 3 public int values. So public int, we're going to have score target 1. We'll have score target 2 and score target 3. So basically, if the player gets above score target 1, they'll get 1 star. If they get above score target 2, they got 2 stars, and if they get above score target 3, they'll get 3 stars. So let's set that up down here then. So when we do our win check, obviously we want to send out whatever score we got. So uiman.winscore.text is equal to whatever our current score is to a string. So we don't need to do the display manager thing of updating it using the display score. Sorry. We just want to say what our actual definite score is here. And then we're going to do some checks. So we're going to say if our current score is greater than or equal to score target 3, so if we're above our target score of 3, then we're going to say the win text should say wintext.text should be equal to congratulations, you earned 3 stars. Like so. And then we're going to activate the UI manager.winstars3.setActive true. And actually, just while we're at this here, we should go back to our UI manager, and in the start function we're going to deactivate all those stars so they don't accidentally all show up at the end of the round. So we're going to say winstars1 setActive false, and we'll do the same for the other 2. I'm just going to copy this line, boop, boop, and just say 2 and 3. So they're all deactivated as soon as the round actually starts. And then back over here in our round manager, we'll say, okay, we're going to activate that one, like so. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next one down. So I'm just going to copy this for the moment, but then we're going to say else, and I'm going to paste in. So now we're going to say else if our current score is greater than target score 2. So obviously if we haven't got up to the third target, then we're going to say, oh well, let's have a look at the second target, and if you did that, then you can get 2 stars, and we're going to activate winstars2. Then again, else if our score is greater than target score 1, you earned 1 star, and we'll activate winstars1. And then finally we'll say else if UI manager.wintext, there we go, .text, now we're going to say is equal to, oh no, no stars for you, and then a try again. So there we go. That's how we're going to display those messages to our game. So let's save that. We'll go back in here. And when we play, we'll let this count down. So what we should get is, when it counts down to 0, there we go, we get our, oh wait, no, we didn't earn 3 stars because we didn't set a score. Let's say, I'm just going to set these to some values. Let's say 100, 500, and 1000. So we should not get that this time. When we count down to 0, we get, there we go, no stars for you, try again. And in a little while we're going to add buttons here to allow us to try the level again, or alternatively we're going to go to our level picking system, which we're going to add in a little while too. But we don't have any of those systems in place at the moment, so we can't do that. But what we can then do is I'm going to turn off, well no, we leave max minutes and play on. I'm going to play and pause. I'm going to set my current score to be 101, so we're over the target 1 threshold. So when this gets down to 0 now, we should see, there we go, we got 1 star, perfect. Let's try it again. We'll put our current score up to 501. I'll put this down to 1 second just so we can immediately do it. There we go, we got 2 stars, perfect. That works the way we'd expect. Let's put our round time on 1. Actually, we could just do it here. We can say 1001 that we're starting off with. So after 1 second, there we go, we get our 3 stars. So it's showing up correctly. So we're getting our star system working nicely in the game, and we're able to keep track of our score and use that information. So now that we've got that in place, we need to start setting up the systems that will allow us to actually get into our levels and start getting in and out and making our players have some more fun with the game.